If anyone still had doubts about Real Madrid's strength in the Champions League, those doubts were crushed after their overwhelming performance against Manchester City. Ancelotti's team not only won, but also made Pep Guardiola look foolish in a game he typically dominates. And in the post-match, surprising statements from Thierry Henry and Jude Bellingham added even more buzz around a player that many underestimate. Furthermore, the draw for the round of 16 put two giants face-to-face, Real Madrid and Atletico de Madrid. The history of this matchup in the Champions League is simply terrifying. Let's discuss the aftermath of Real's victory and the media predictions for the hottest matchups in the round of 16. So if you love football and are a cool person who wants to help, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It would really help me a lot. Thank you. Real Madrid not only eliminated Manchester City, but they did it with authority. Mbappe shone and put on a show, but one of the most praised players in the post-match was Rodrygo. After the match, Thierry Henry didn't hold back in praising the Brazilian. He stated that Rodrygo is a very underestimated player and that the media doesn't talk enough about his importance to Real Madrid. Coming from one of the greatest forwards in history, that's no small thing. Let's check out their statements about this.
Having said that, I wanted to talk about two players. Kylian, first, because I do think that now he does understand that position and be patient, and time is run at the right time. And when he does that, we all know that it's clinical. So I wanted to know what you think about that. And please, can you talk about Rodrygo? Because this guy, nobody talks about him. His work rate and his skills, what he does for the team. How is it to play with those two guys?
Firstly, Kylian, I think everyone knows what a special player he is. I think, if that start of the season was difficult for him, adjusting for a new team, incredible pressure, unimaginable for most players. And I think it was only a matter of time before he got started, and when the goals came, it was always going to be, just a different level of player. The confidence he has, you give him the ball in any situation, he can make something of it. The speed, linking up with Vinny, it's really terrifying for most defenders to play against. So I imagine, and Rodrygo, so underrated. I think for me, he's probably the most talented and most gifted player in the squad. I think the things he can do with the football, when be messing around and he'll flick the ball up somehow, and you're like, how do you do that? I'm trying to do it, twisting up my ankles and everything like that. And it's a pleasure to play with both of them. You put them in positions where they can affect the games and they'll win it for you. I think Rodrygo, another thing to mention is he's the one who kind of sacrifices the most, really. I think it's clear that his favourite position is the left. I think it's important to note that he does a lot for the team as well, defensively on the right side, which isn't his favourite, but never complains, just gets on with it, and that's the way we have to continue.
And it's not just talk. The numbers show that Rodrygo has been crucial for Real Madrid. He has scored 13 goals and provided 8 assists this season. Moreover, he stands out not only for his statistics, but also for his tactical sacrifice and intelligence on the pitch. He knows exactly when to speed up, when to hold the game, and makes the team play more fluidly. The most frightening thing is that Real Madrid now has an unstoppable attack. Vinny Jr., Mbappe, Rodrygo, and Bellingham. If one of them isn't performing well, another steps up. And that's what happened against City. In the first match of the tie, Vinny and Bellingham stood out more. In the second, it was Rodrygo and Mbappe. The draw for the Champions League round of 16 brought heavyweight matchups and has already sparked various bold predictions. Many journalists and experts have begun to create their knockout brackets, and one of them made an interesting bet: a Spanish final between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Let's take a look at that analysis now.
Well, you're an Arsenal fan, so that's easy.
If you didn't pick Arsenal.
Okay. Now explain yourself.
All right.
It's up.
I feel bad rooting against PSV in this case because, you want to see Ernie Stewart. All the Americans, it's a great story. But Arsenal, Real Madrid, this is a tasty quarterfinal matchup. Liverpool taking on Aston Villa. I see fireworks here, but in the end, Liverpool, Real Madrid in the semis. We've seen this in Champions League finals, right? In the past. Real Madrid get to the final. Look to the other side. Barca, Benfica. Barca have taken care of business against Dortmund already, and Benfica. They're going to cruise to the semifinals.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Okay, Bayern Leverkusen. I think Leverkusen over 2 legs beat Bayern Munich. The experience, Xabi Alonso, I think he just has better control of his team, and I think the tactics will end up being the case here. Inter take on Feyenoord. Inter Leverkusen to the semifinals.
Wow.
I think this is going to be tight, but this is when we end up with the Clásico.
You got it in the final.
Barca have gotten the better of Real Madrid this season. Things have changed. Mbappe is alive. Mbappe came to be, and here he is.
Charlie, I like it.
Captain Obvious.
Round of 16 pitted two Spanish giants against each other in a highly charged rivalry. Real Madrid, Atletico de Madrid. This clash has occurred 5 times in knockout stages or finals of the Champions League, and the advantage lies entirely with Real Madrid. The Merengues have won all these encounters, including historic moments like the 2014 final and the 2017 semi-final. If we look at the recent encounters between the two teams, the story changes a bit. The last 6 matches between Real and Atletico resulted in 3 draws, 2 Atletico victories, and 1 Real victory. In the duels between Ancelotti and Simeone, there have been 8 victories for each side, and 8 draws. So despite the favourable historical record for Real in the Champions League, the matchups have been increasingly balanced. What can we expect from the games between Real and Atletico? The clashes between Real Madrid and Atletico promise to be electrifying. The first match at the Bernabeu without Jude Bellingham could be an important factor, as the Englishman has been a key player in the team's creation and finishing. However, Real Madrid has shown this season that they can overcome adversities, as they did against Manchester City, and they arrive very confident. On the other hand, Atletico de Madrid is in excellent form, with only 1 defeat in their last 23 matches. Another factor that could weigh heavily is Atletico's busy schedule, as they will face Barcelona in the Copa del Rey between these matchups. This could physically wear down the team and give a slight advantage to Real Madrid, who will be able to prepare more focused for this duel. And if there's one thing that always spices up this rivalry, it's the controversies. Refereeing in Spain has been a hot topic, with Real Madrid making harsh criticisms and Atletico provoking whenever they can. Simeone loves to fire up his players in these classics, and the atmosphere promises to be explosive both on and off the pitch. The expectation is for 2 very tense games, and any mistake could cost a spot in the quarter-finals. Let's see what Simeone said about this matchup.
Sí, normal, es entendible y obviamente voy a responder a una pregunta sola debido a que mañana jugamos con el Valencia y está todo el foco puesto en ese partido. Pero con respecto al partido que nos toca, partidazo y estamos preparados. Así que eso es lo que me sale. Partidazo y estamos preparados.
Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of Bellingham and Henry's statements about Rodrygo? Is he really the most talented player on Real Madrid? Who will win this insane matchup between Real Madrid and Atletico? Leave your opinion in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We're together, and see you next time.